welcome to round 4. This will be covering movies 31 to 40. Now, that's right? 31 to 40? Yeah. Brain ain't working. Because you had, my first episode's 1 to 10, and number 2 was 11 to 20. Number 3 was 21 to 30. Yeah, so this one is number 31 to 40. And I just broke 40. I just watched my 41st movie, so that will be going into the next episode. And that movie that I watched that's going into the next episode was Step Brothers. Hadn't seen that in years. But this is about this episode. And for this episode, I will show you my 10 contestants. First up here, we have Doomsday. The Strangers. The Wrestler. Witless Protection. Oh boy. Another one from my 8 Films to Die For. This one's Autopsy. Australia. One Missed Call. The Alphabet Killer. You Don't Mess with the Zohan. And last for this episode is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That's a title. So yeah, those are my 10 contestants. And I've only got 3 through to the final so far. If you haven't watched my first 3 episodes, go back and watch them. And just because you get my full ranking of each of all 10 movies, but my winners are The Dark Knight, Repo the Genetic Opera, and my last episode's winner was, I can't even remember which one took it. I have them in a pile over there. Jeez. Oh, Iron Man. Iron Man took my 3rd episode. So this is the 4th contestant that will be into the finals out of these ones. Sorry, my bench is tipping on me. So, I will jump right into it. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I do. I actually have quite a bit of fun doing it this way. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's fun just grabbing 10 movies. Like, I have a monster pile of around 200 movies from 2008. And I'm just going over and grabbing from the pile and throwing them in and watching them. And once I hit 10, I throw a video up. I'm just going to keep going. I'll probably try to keep it at 100 just because I'd like to move on to a new year and keep going with this thing and just do different years. And, like, quite honestly, if you've seen 100 movies from a year, you're probably good. You add that up over the last, like, if you even do the last 50 years at 100 movies per year, that's 5,000 movies watched. Which I don't even have 5,000 movies ranked on Letterboxd. So that would be huge. 100 movies a year for 50 years. That sounds fun. Maybe it might take me 50 years to actually do that, to be honest. But I'll keep going with this one. I'll hit 100 and I'll see what I have left in my piles. And if I feel like watching them, and then I might throw an episode or 2 extra in, I don't know. It'll depend on whether I'm done with the year. I'm ready to move on. But there's still a lot of goodies to come. Like I said, one of the contestants in my next episode is Step Brothers, which is highly praised So, and that's the first one I've watched for the year. That'll be fun, ranking that one. But, let's get right out of here. Obviously, my last place is this fucking piece of shit. Witless Protection. Fucking good old Larry the Cable Guy. This was a fucking disaster, man. Oh my god. Do I even need to talk about this thing? It's like the most silly. I didn't even chuckle during this, but I gave this a 0.5 star out of 5. This is as low as it goes. Not one part in this movie even got a chuckle out of me. Like, it's so immature. Like, he's putting whoopee cushions down on seats before people sit down. And it, like, it's funny if you do that to your friend. But it's not funny to watch someone do it in a movie and pass it off as hysterical comedy. It's just, it's rough, man. The movie's racist. It's not good in any way whatsoever. Witless Protection, it explains the storyline itself. He kidnaps a girl thinking she needs protection, but she technically doesn't. And basically he's just being chased by a bunch of people with this girl, and it's just one ridiculously unfunny situation after another. Don't even waste your time on this. I was shocked I have this thing in my collection. It's kind of fucked. And here's the thing, I've seen a couple other movies with Larry the Cable Guy that were okay. They were like 2.5s. They were just reasonably funny. This is like him not even trying. Like, it's fucking pathetic. So yeah, I'm just gonna move right on from that. Get rid of that thing. In 9th place, I have One Missed Call. This is the American remake. Another one. I gave this a 1. And that's a generous 1. Honestly, it probably deserves a 0.5 star. It's a fucking disaster. I've never seen the Japanese versions either. I have the trilogy from Arrow Video, but I haven't put them in yet. I'm hoping that they're better than this thing. This is, right from the get-go, like, here's the thing, the opening kill, I actually laughed out loud. The kill to start the movie. It's just a girl sitting and talking on her phone, and she hears something stirring in the pond in her backyard, and she goes out, and she gets down right on her hands and knees and is sticking her head right over the pond for some reason, staring straight into the water. And then a hand comes out and grabs her by the throat and just pulls her into the water real quick. And then it cuts to her cat sitting up on the hill, looking down at the water, and then the hand comes up and grabs the cat and rips the cat under too. I don't know what it was, but I just bursted into laughter. I'm like, so this right off the bat, this ghost has a vendetta against cats? Like, what the fuck is going on here? But it ends up just being a cell phone ghost. This is just like a modern technology movie. It kills somebody, and then it dials the number to somebody in that person's phone list, and now that person's targeted. There isn't a whole lot of explanation. The ending is, it's okay. Like, this is a good storyline done horribly. That's what I think my problem is. Like, it's solid, which gives me hope for the Japanese version. They're working with a decent storyline. Where it goes, the conclusion, I won't reveal anything if you haven't seen it. It's just, it's not, like, there's a reason why it's happening. In the lines of, like, The Ring and stuff like that. But it's a 1, and it probably could be a 0.5 star. The acting's one of the worst parts. It's just brutal. Yeah, let's move on from that thing too. Next up is the elimination of Autopsy. Now this is the second or third, second one of these I've covered. Yeah, second one. This one's got another cool lenticular cover here. Just from a DVD set I have. It's the only way to get them if you haven't watched my other episodes. Just comes with the same stuff. This one stars Robert Patrick. I gave this like a 1.5 to 2. This one wasn't nearly as good as the first one I watched. And it's funny because this one's actually sitting at a higher letterboxed overall score than the first one I watched. But I think it's because of the gore. See, this is another one where the storyline just did nothing for me. And it would for other people. It's in the vein of like Terrifier, where it doesn't really have much of a story you care about. It's just about the gruesome gore. And that's what this does. It has a lot of really gross gore. Like right up there with Terrifier in the gore department. Like, there's one scene, I'll give you a quick sum up of what the story is. There isn't much of one. It's just a group of teenage to 20-somethings. They get in a car accident and an ambulance comes, picks them up, brings them to the hospital, and the hospital's just run by a bunch of insane people. And that's it. Nothing much, nothing more than that. That you don't even really get an explainer on where they come from or nothing. It's just a bunch of crazies. And Robert Patrick is the head of the hospital. And there's basically they just start slowly killing these 20-somethings one at a time. And the kills are fucking gross. I will admit that. Like, one is girl tied to a thing and she's getting like a fucking power drill through her skull slowly. And it's like twisting and turning and she's throwing up all over herself while it's happening. Like, really gross stuff. I enjoyed the gore. I was like, wow, it's cool. It's just too bad that's all they cared about. And it's the same problem I have with the Terrifier movies. I enjoy watching art brutalize people. I just wish there was a story. Now, like, if there was a good story to those movies, those would be, like, right up there with all the best slashers to me. But that's what holds them back. So all they really care about is the gore. And that's what this is. I will say Terrifier's better than these, obviously. Better than this. But yeah, I'm not, like, super disappointed. The first movie delivered a decent storyline. This one delivered really solid gore. So I'm kind of excited. I've never watched any of the movies in these box sets. And there's 4 of them coming for 2008. So I'll be watching another one that goes in the next episode. But yeah, next up, we have The Alphabet Killer. This is getting a early elimination here. I wasn't expecting a whole lot, but it does have a decent cast. Eliza Dushku is the star. Carrie Elwes. You got Michael Ironside, Bill Moseley, Timothy Hutton. Like, it's a solid cast. And it's a good storyline as well. It's just your classic, like, Seven, who's the killer. Somebody's murdering, like, young girls, brutalizing them, and leaving their bodies. And it's based on a true story. An unsolved murder case. So it's in that vein, where they never found the killer. So there's that. Which I didn't know until I watched the movie. But it's based on a serial killer from the 70s. And they never caught him. And my problem is that it's just not that great. Like, Eliza Dushku, she's a decent actress, but she's not good enough to me. And that feels mean, but she's not good enough to be leading this kind of movie, where it's a thriller based, like, it takes some convincing. Like, you gotta convince us when in these type of serial killer thrillers, and that she's just not good enough to do it. So yeah, okay storyline. Like, she's a detective and she's losing her mind. And she's had mental breakdowns, so she's basically on the verge of not being allowed to be a cop. And it plays out. I can't give away much more without spoiling. Like, it plays out kind of exactly how you think it would, and that's the problem I had with it. Alright, next up here, in 6th place, we have the elimination of Australia. Now, a couple podcasts ago, when I was on Our Life in Horror channel with Brendan, we were talking about Hugh Jackman. And somebody in the chat said, have you ever seen Australia? And I had never seen it. So this was the first time watch. And I'm going to say that I did not realize that it was almost 3 hours. So that alone. And I didn't even know when I put it in. So I was thinking, oh, okay, like action movie set in Australia. This should be interesting. Probably be like an hour and a half. And this movie just kept going and going. Like, there's a part, like it's so weird. I don't think this movie knows what it wants to be. It's a hard one to talk about. I gave it a 3. And I'll explain why a little bit. It starts out in the first hour or more, little over an hour, is like a rom-com. Like, it's just quirky, funny moments. And, like, oh my god. Hugh Jackman says, crikey, I think like 7 or 8 times in this movie, where he just looks at the camera, he's like, oh, crikey. Like, it's really bad in that sense. Poorly written. And then it comes to a conclusion where it's like a happily ever after, and they're having this huge celebration. Everything went good for them. Storyline is that there were some poachers on their land, and they got them off, and then they got their cows back, and blah, 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 blah. Really straightforward storyline, nothing major. And then, after I thought it was over, all of a sudden it just continued. And I didn't realize that I wasn't even halfway through the movie. I was like, what in the fuck? So, well, I was around halfway through the movie, sorry. And then it turns into like a war picture where it's based during the Japanese attacking Australia during World War II, which I didn't even really realize that much. And then, like, it's just a sad, brutal war picture for about a half hour. It's fucking weird. And then it's like a sad, tear-jerking, heroic for a little bit, leading to like a revenge thriller for the ending. Like, it's fucking wild. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, oh my god. When it finally ended, I didn't know how I felt about it. Like, there's a little kid in this, and an Aboriginal to Australia, and he's got like super powers. He can talk to animals, and it's just, this needs another watch, but it ain't gonna be anytime soon because it's a 3-hour beast. But in order for me to pick this apart more, it would need another watch, because I honestly didn't know what I was getting myself into. And that's why it's taken 5th place in this episode. Wild stuff. And then, 6th place. Here's the 5th place. It's Doomsday. Now, this just got a 4K from Scream Factory. I'm not going to upgrade to that unless it's super cheap, because this movie's like another 3. And that's probably even being generous. Some people probably wouldn't even like it that much. But I didn't mind it. Other than its poor writing, its terrible dialogue, its mediocre storyline. Like, it's just, virus breaks out at the beginning. they quarantine off a section of a country, and the whole world's just dying from this virus, but it's a cannibal apocalypse movie. So all the people that are in the quarantine, they've turned into like Mad Max characters, and they're like eating each other, and like it's just, that's the problem I have, is the storyline and everything is fucking terrible, and so is the writing and the dialogue. But it's got some pretty solid action scenes, and a couple pretty gross scenes as well that make it a horror movie. Because it's basically just a side Mad Max story with some gore, so it makes it a horror movie. But that's all there really is. Like, I can't even say much else. It's just exactly what I just told you. That's the storyline. Like, there's a leader, obviously, and the leader of the bad guys, the cannibals, is cool-ish. This girl on the cover here, one of these head cannibals, she doesn't even last very long. I was kind of like, that's weird. She's going out this quick, because she's like the cover photo. And I won't ruin much more for that one, because honest to God, there's not much more to ruin. It's just, if you want to just watch a fun, ridiculous cannibal apocalypse movie with some heavy action scenes, then that's what this is. It's nothing much to spoil. I will say that there's there's a section where Malcolm McDowell is in it, and they find him, and he's like living in medieval times. He's found a castle, and he's got like guys on horsebacks and knights and executioners, and he's like living in the medieval times, basically. It's off-putting. I was like, what the heck is going on here? Like, why is this suddenly like medieval times movie just outside of this big, huge city? Like, it's weird. But anyways, yeah, Doomsday. I personally wouldn't waste my money upgrading to the 4K unless you don't have the movie. Like, obviously, if you don't have it, then upgrade. Or not upgrade, like buy the 4K version. I mean, this looked and sounded good. So it's like, do I need this movie to look and sound a little better for the price they charge? Probably not. And then at number 4, we have the elimination of You Don't Mess with the Zohan. Now, this, I gave a 4 to this. I didn't remember liking this movie. Like, I remembered, this was only like the second time I've ever watched it, and I remembered watching it a long time ago and being like, just some light laughs and stuff. I didn't remember thinking it was funny. But this time around, I was actually laughing my ass off. Now, with that said, this movie is highly racist towards East Indian people. But it's hilarious at the same time. And, like, Adam Sandler plays an Israeli super soldier. And it's fucking quite comical. Like, he's basically Captain America, but for Israel. He's got, like, super abilities. And he just wants to move to America and open a hairdressing salon and be a hairdresser. And the stuff that happens between, and that, well, I won't go through everything. He ends up faking his own death, and he gets to America, and he gets a job at a hairdresser, and basically he just fucks old ladies while he styles their hair. He just turns them on. It's actually pretty hilarious. Like, I was laughing pretty fucking hard at some of the scenes in this. So, it shocked me. It was a pleasant surprise. This may be the last time Adam Sandler did anything, like, really, really good. It felt like he really put a lot into this. Like, some heart, basically. It wasn't just a Netflix cash grab. But then we got our top three here. We have Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. We have The Wrestler. And we have The Strangers. This was a tough final three, to be honest. Going into this, I didn't know who my winner would be of this episode as I was watching them, because I was like, I'm here already, like I'm 7 movies in, and then the highest I have is a 4, so I'm like, well, we'll see, maybe a 4 will be getting through the finals. And then I decided to throw on The Strangers, which is my third pick. This is also a 4 from me. And I didn't really remember The Strangers much. Like, I remembered the whole movie. I just hadn't seen it in a very long time. So I couldn't remember exactly how everything played out. And I actually think it's pretty damn solid. Like, it builds up them just peeking around corners excellently. Like, it feels uncomfortable. I would say it's one of the best home invasion movies that I've ever seen. I'm just not a huge fan of home invasion movies. But this one, it's really unsettling. And everyone knows The Strangers, so I don't really need to go deep. It's based on true events, sort of. And these people just break into this couple's house, and I can't really say they terrorize them. It takes a long time before they actually terrorize them. They kind of just hide around the house, and it's creepy and uncomfortable knowing that someone's standing right beside you and you don't even know it. That's kind of what they're going for here. And it's The Strangers. I won't say anymore. Everybody knows. That's what it is. That's the storyline. If you don't know the ending, obviously I'm not going to spoil that. That's a pretty important part. But yeah, Strangers takes number 3. So either The Wrestler or Indiana Jones 4 is going into my finals. And I'm going to be honest, the winner of these two kind of shocked me. But it is fitting that The Wrestler takes my 4th spot and eliminates Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Now, this was another one that I didn't remember liking a lot. I remember watching it a long time ago and it just being just too much for me. Like, I was just like, oh my god, it's fucking aliens and it's just ridiculous. But I actually had a lot of fun with this. And I kind of wish they would have continued off the story and seen what happens next, but they don't. And there's just some great action scenes. It's Indiana Jones. 4K looks beautiful. These also came out in box sets as well. Does it still have a digital code? No. I must have gave that away to somebody already. It says it comes with one. Yeah, it's Indiana Jones. It's just ridiculous action and crazy, silly premise. And Shia LaBeouf is actually really good in it. Like, I think he's excellent. It's weird, because I'm pretty sure he got a lot of hate. People didn't like him much, but I think he does an excellent job as like a 50s greaser. And it shocked me. I gave it a 4 as well. But with that said, I will mention Cate Blanchett's a pretty solid villain in this too. But she's always good and everything. The Wrestler. This was a first time watch. And it's funny that I'm using a wrestling ring. You would think this would be an easy winner. I'm obviously a wrestling fan. But I had never seen this. I don't know why. It's absolutely weird that I've never watched The Wrestler. But I couldn't believe how freaking good Mickey Rourke is in this movie. Like, I think I had tears like on 4 different occasions in the movie. And it's not like it's brutally like nothing, like nobody's dying. It's not tears because somebody died. It's just tears at how well he's acting in the movie. And like just feeling bad for him. Because I know the wrestling industry and I know how hard it is. And then I also understand what it's like. I've heard a lot of I've watched a lot of wrestling biographies and of older wrestlers, and I have heard them all say how hard it is to walk away from the business and admit that you're too old to be doing it anymore. And that's kind of what this movie is. But there is excellent scenes with him and his estranged daughter that he abandoned basically to be a wrestler, played by Evan Rachel Wood. And she does an excellent job. And there's just some really fucking heartwarming moments where you're happy and depressed at the same time. Like, it feels like an extremely bleak movie, but yet uplifting. It's a weird combo. It's also directed by what's his name there? Famous director. Oh fuck. Darren Aronofsky. Guy that did Black Swan and Mother. Does a lot of solid movies. Everything he's done I have an appreciation for. But I didn't know he was the director of this. His name popped up and I was like, ooh, that's interesting. Darren Aronofsky. And then we got Marissa Tomei's character, who's a stripper. And if you want to see her do some pretty solid stripping scenes, they have that in this movie. But Mickey Rourke's basically in love with her, and he goes and sees her, and she is just treating him like what he is, and that's a client. And he just wants more out of it, and she's aging, and guys aren't tipping her anymore, and they don't really look at her, and she's going around the bar. So it's basically 2 stories of people that perform, like, what do you call it? Like, I don't know the word, like low art, I guess? Like, yeah, like low art forms, right? Like wrestling and stripping. They're like selling your body for money art forms. Both of them are, in a way. I know wrestling's a little more athletic, but it's the same sort of deal. You're selling yourself and selling your appearance and for entertainment purposes. So it's basically just 2 aging people, and their stories are together, and they're sad and complicated, and it's a good relationship movie. And it's just solid. Really good fucking movie. With an ending that I wouldn't have guessed they would go where they go. But just excellent. This is a solid contender, man. This is going into my final 4 there, or my finals, with Iron Man, Dark Knight, Repo the Genetic Opera, and now The Wrestler. Into my finals. Fuck, this is going to be a hard finals. I'm telling you, I'm only 4 episodes in. I still got a lot to cover for this year. But yeah, that's all she wrote for this episode. And I'm hard at work on the next one. And I'll hopefully have that up by like sometime over the weekend. I'm going to get to my 42nd movie watch since I've started this for 2008. And I don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to go pick one and start her up right now. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.